welcome back one more time to Culture Crossroads. It is time for our Faith Focus segment. Now, for the past couple of weeks, we've been going through the book of Know Why You Believe by Paul E. Little. We're going to continue that in the coming weeks, but it's good to pause for a little bit, good to shake it up, and I want to focus on what RC and Julianna have been doing with Watchmen Action, and you can find them at watchmenaction.org, I believe, is it, guys?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Okay. Watchmenaction.org. But, again, we're about solutions. I want to equip you with actionable steps, things you can do, and particularly Watchmen Action being one of the chief objectives is to motivate and mobilize the church, Christians in America, to get back involved and to preserve, fight for, win liberty, freedom in Jesus' name. And so RC and Julianna, give us an update as to Watchmen Action. What are some of the latest developments, and how are you seeing the movement grow?
Yeah, Andrew, you hit the nail on the head with Watchmen Action. On one side, we've got great conservative Christian activists, and on the other side of the bridge, we've got all these great tools that they need, but there's this giant gap in the middle of the bridge, and Watchmen Action was specifically designed to bridge that gap, pull all those great services and people together in one ecosystem, and then to have a training program that's the fabric that runs between them. Now, whether we look at the Culture Crossroads as a TV show or any of the other stuff that any of us do, one of the things we did want to focus on is making sure that people knew the tools were available and how to use them, but also how to stack them together and use them in combination, Andrew. There are some really smart innovators on our side, and they've got great tools. And when they work together, amazing things can happen, movements start, and that's what Watchmen Action wants to do. So what's exciting is that we're about to launch the Watchmen Action online community. So that ecosystem is the digital manifestation of all the training, speaking, and everything else that we've done over the last year and a half, a one-stop shop for all things Watchmen Action, all things from our partners who will have sub-communities within the community. We'll be doing our live trainings and other live streams there. And it also allows us to launch Watchmen Action chapters at a rapid pace, because anyone from anywhere in the country can come on, go through the training, become an ambassador, and set up their own chapters that we can all participate in. We're adding to that our layer for the Lab America model. That is the physical town hall version where all this great stuff for Watchmen Action happens. And we make it very easy for someone to take the blueprint and open up a lab in their community and run Watchmen Action programs out of it. Two other things on the sponsorship side, Andrew, that have been great for us. Great sponsors who believe in our mission have stepped up. The team at goldback.com is now sponsoring Watchmen Action, and we're on a mission in the state of Florida to give away as many of these gold-back notes. They've basically turned gold into money as possible. And the great news is the more of them we give away, the more that we get support from Goldback. We will also soon announce our friend CJ Constantinos, who was on the show a couple of weeks ago with the People's Reserve. Watchmen Action is going to be part of a pilot program for ministry Bitcoin bonds. We want to be able to create an environment where when people contribute to Watchmen Action, they can see a tangible return, while at the same time knowing that we're setting almost an endowment style foundation for Watchmen Action to be here 100 years from now, which was our original plan. After we're all long gone, Watchmen Action is still fighting the battle, equipping the church to engage the culture, and allowing people to deal with the issues and get wins on the things that matter to them most. It is certainly an exciting time.
Julianna, I want to underscore again, why is it so critical that the church be involved? And I know we've talked about that a lot on the program, but it bears repeating, because I think we forget, or we fall back into the idea that, Christians just need to be quiet and keep their faith in their little church on the corner and go home, and that's nice and that kind of thing. But, why do you think, why do you believe, if hopefully I'm not putting words in your mouth here, but that the church might be the missing ingredient in terms of the missing influence in our culture, and the influence our culture needs right now?
I think we've forgotten the fact that back in the 50s and 60s, that the church was the center of the community. Everything that people did was based on the community. The friends that they had, the things that they did, the schedule that they kept was because of the church. right? And then the church just abdicated the community. They abdicated their role in society. They abdicated their why we have them, which is to push the culture forward the way we believe it should be, not someone else. So we, the church, if we want to have America be America, and we can be proud of being America, we, the people, we, the church, need to stand up and say, this is what we expect. Because if we don't do that, I promise you, the enemy is doing that. So either we can be there and stand and take our stand and take our territory, or we can abdicate our territory and give it to the enemy.
All right, last question here. And this is for either of you or both of you. What gives you cause for optimism and hope, particularly when it comes to the work being done in and through Watchmen Action?
You know, what's exciting, Andrew, sorry, Julianna.
No, that's
Go
good.
ahead. Yeah. What's exciting, Andrew, is part of what's happening with a lot of the stuff that was going on at the federal level, returning back to the states. Mm-hmm. What we've told people over and over again, in DC, you have very little control over outcomes. But when stuff flows down to the state and to your local municipality, you really have an opportunity to have an outsized impact. You're going to pay much closer attention to those things that are happening in your 10-block radius or your city, or even your state, than you are in DC. Now is the time for you to take the step in a self-governing society to do the self-governing part. That's what we're excited about, Andrew, because finally we've got that window to get people up to speed and give them the tools and everything else that they need to make that impact, because these things are coming back to the local level.
Our politicians are telling us that they're looking for us to come to them and say, this is what we want and this is what we're looking for. Like, look at everything that Doge is, doing and clearing up all that money. All that funds, right, should be coming back to we the people. How are we spending those funds? What are we doing with our country? How are we moving it forward? So I'm really excited about having a voice and making sure that everybody else has a voice in what we want to see in our society.